Imagine, who would you be without your battle against yourself? How would you even know yourself without a battle against yourself? Returning to the unconditioned being. You see. Only one's argument with what is causes division. Just try to work yourself up into a good state of inner division with no argument with what is. No argument about what is within yourself, whether you're feeling good or bad or confused or very unconfused or sleepy or awake or too hot or too cold. See if you can get a really good state of inner division worked up. Without resisting what is. It's very difficult. It's not only it's impossible. With no resistance to what is. Then you can taste your undivided nature, your unconditioned being. Okay, let's open. Oh, come on up. Yeah, Mark. Very good. Welcome, Mark. It's on.
Is it on? Okay,
yeah.
Good. I guess the first thing that comes to my mind to ask you about is referring to the most recent thing you were talking about, with at least what I took with kind of no need to change anything. And that comes up for me as I think about the state of the world today and some of the tremendous need for change, and especially where there's injustice and greed. And it seems to me like there's, definitely a calling for that. And I think you asked the question, well, who has the right ideas or something like that. And it seems
right. So we would probably both agree, from a relative point of view, that it is better, from a relative point of view, for people not to be killing each other and for people not to be starving to death and causing each other suffering and all the hideous nonsense that humanity seems to thrive on so much. So I think we would be completely asleep at the wheel if we didn't see this and see just the inherent ridiculousness of it and the inherent suffering of it. But then it brings up the question, what brings about this change? What actually would bring about this fundamental change, you see? So we can agree that this change from a relative standpoint is necessary. The question then becomes, what brings it about? Mm-hmm. You see? And clearly, humanity is constantly in a struggle to change.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You turn on the news and there's two opposing viewpoints that want to change. Mm-hmm. And so everybody wants to change. And then there's a few people that have just sort of had it and they just sort of drop out. But that's not the answer to anything, is it? Well, I mean, it may be the answer to them
I guess
personally.
that's what I'm kind of putting forward, is that it seems like perhaps a scary option of just dropping out and not doing anything when there's...
But see, dropping out is what I'm speaking about is not dropping out. Because dropping out is just a reaction. It's a denial. It's a not wanting to deal with what is. Mm-hmm. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's something that's quite different than what I'm speaking about.
But it seems like there was kind of not exactly admonishment, but saying something to the effect of, look, these ideas to change the world for the better, for our idea of the better, yes, are misguided.
Yes.
And I guess I have trouble with that, or I'm...
Well, of course you do. It's threatening.
But what about you? Don't you have trouble with that?
No. Okay. No, because I see that our good ideas about how to change the world mm-hmm. are an intricate part of what keeps the whole game of division operating.
What about the really good ideas about how to change the world?
They're probably the most damaging.
Well, come on. Well, tell me how. I mean, that's kind of a clever thing to say, but I mean, how is that true?
Because this is underneath the surface, right? Underneath the surface is where everything actually is taking place. It's underneath the surface. So when someone has, this is how everything needs to change, and they start to work for that, 90% of the time, if they really look inside, they themselves are divided. That division, doesn't matter what's motivating the division on the inside is what manifests division on the outside. And the amazing thing about the way the universe works is it doesn't work from moral principles that humanity has. All the universe registers is division. It doesn't care if it's for evil reasons or good reasons. Division begets division. And so it goes. And the trick that humanity doesn't seem to want to see is it does see that the divisiveness of evil, we could say, selfishness, greed, all that, creates more division. Any logical person can see that functioning from that way creates division. The next step is the thing that humanity has such a difficult time seeing, is that their division that's around the good is actually also an inherent part of divisiveness itself. And so we're trapped in duality, in good and bad, right and wrong, evil and you see what I mean? Well,
I guess I would
it just perpetuates the same cycle.
I guess I would have thought somehow that the good side somehow is more, spiritually aligned, as it were, or yeah.
Well, in a relative sense, it is. Mm-hmm. In the sense that these aren't absolute statements, but in a relative sense, it's better to be kind than to hit someone over the head with a hammer. If you have the option, I think we can assume that, especially if it's you, that someone's going to be kind to or hit over the head with the hammer. It's better that they're kind to you, right? So, on a relative standpoint, that is absolutely true. It's better, but what's better is very different from what's true. Mm-hmm. What's better is totally different than what actually solves the problem. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? There is better. Mm-hmm. But what's better is still in a very small paradigm. Mm-hmm. And until we see the truth, we're only seen within this paradigm of right and wrong and